what a lovely breeze. Truly, there is nothing so liberating as the great outdoors.
Your Majesty, Hubert is looking for you. My apologies. I didn't realize you were resting.
I only stepped out for a bit of fresh air. I'll be ready to return shortly.
Oh no! Please don't rush back on my account. I am more than happy to keep Hubert occupied in the meantime. Please, Your Majesty, enjoy yourself. I'll simply tell him I failed to find you. Ah, and are you cold? I can bring you a coat and some hot tea.
I appreciate the concern, Monica, but I'm quite all right. But while you're here, there is something I must tell you.
Why are you staring at me, Your Majesty? Is there something on my face?
I was only going to say how fortunate we are to have you with us. Those who slither in the dark had you in their clutches. In another world, we might have lost you to them forever.
Yes, it seemed they were only keeping me alive so they could use me for some kind of dark ritual. And I can only assume that would not have ended with me alive and well. You saved my life. I wish I could express what an honor it was to be personally rescued by the woman I've dedicated my entire life to.
That's kind of you to say, but I only did it because I needed the military leverage.
That doesn't matter. I'm serious when I say that the day you rescued me was the day I stopped simply idolizing you and decided you were the one for me.
The one for you?
Yes, you risked your life to protect a lowly noble like me.
You need to understand the situation, Monica. I was fully prepared to sacrifice you if doing so would bring me even one step closer to achieving my goals. I had no intention of rescuing you until right before the opportunity presented itself.
Oh, but, why not?
I was under the impression that those who slither in the dark needed you quite badly. And as I required their strength to wage my war, I was prepared to look the other way. When we laid out our plans, your death was something we took as a given.
All the same, you still chose to save me in the end. I don't care how you got to that decision, only that you did. You could have offered me up as a bargaining chip, but you chose not to. Instead, you closed that door just so I could be standing here today.
Monica,
I only get one life, and I can't tell you how lucky I am to share it with you. It is my destiny to walk beside you, and that makes me happier than you could ever know.
Well, thank you. That means a lot.
You must be exhausted, Your Majesty. I was beginning to believe that council would never end. Should I make tea?
Thank you, Monica. Why don't you join me?
Oh, I would love to.
I can hardly remember the last time I saw you rest. You need to stop overworking yourself. We can't afford for you to get sick.
Her Majesty has invited me to tea and she's worried about my health? Oh, this is the greatest day of my humble life.
Come now, I've always cared for your well-being, and it's not as if we never have tea together.
Oh, I'm aware. This is the 208th time you've worried about me and our 113th time sharing tea. I've been keeping a record on paper and in my head.
Now I'm even more concerned.
Aw, thanks.
I suppose it just shows how hard you work for me. I hope you feel I do enough in return. If there is anything you need, don't hesitate to ask.
Truly? You'd really listen to my request? Your Majesty is actually willing to make Monica von Ox's impossible wish come true?
Well, let's keep the wishes within the realm of the plausible, if you please.
All right. In that case, may I... Oh, this is so disrespectful. May I hold you in my embrace? Just for a minute?
I don't see why not.
What kindness! I promise to be even more loyal to you from now on, Your Majesty.
As if such a thing were possible, you've given me more loyalty than I could ever rightfully expect.
Oh, that reminds me. There is something I've been meaning to tell you. It seems as if you have been upset with yourself because you were planning to leave me for dead. But I just want you to know that had such events come to pass, I still would have died happy. I would have been at peace because I helped you achieve your vision. Well, I should go see to that tea.
She really is something else. I knew she was strong, yet she always finds new ways to surprise me. Thank you, Monica.
Oh, there you are, Hubert. I have been searching everywhere for you.
And to what end? Has Her Majesty summoned me?
Oh, she would never use me for a task like that. I just wanted to thank you, albeit reluctantly.
I do not recall having done anything that would merit such a sincere display of gratitude.
Well, you probably just saw it as part of your normal administrative duties. You fixed quite a big mistake in my last report before Her Majesty had the chance to look at it. I woke up in a panic when I realized what I had done. Imagine how mortified I was to see you'd already corrected everything.
Ah, yes. I may have done something of the sort. As Her Majesty's loyal servant, it is my duty to pare down the number of unnecessary matters which wander across her desk. I must say, I was surprised to see you make such a foolish and obvious error. Have you truly grown so lax, even as you style yourself the greatest of our Emperor's retainers?
I'm aware of the mistake I made, but I would never dream of calling myself something like that. Well, perhaps I said it once or twice in the heat of the moment, but I never actually meant it. If anyone is Her Majesty's best retainer, it's you. And without House Vestra's say-so, I could never become one of her servants.
At present, I very much doubt you are fit to serve as Her Majesty's servant.
Excuse me?
It is true that I did not make a conscious choice to serve Her Majesty at first. Instead, I simply did it because my father decreed it must be so. But such bounds no longer define our relationship. I do not serve the Emperor. My loyalty is to Lady Edelgard, and her alone. I stand with her in a manner that goes beyond the bounds of ruler and servant. Do you understand this?
I want to be like that with Her Majesty as well. But I am only the child of a baron, so I don't have excuses to linger in the palace all the time. I have to return to my family's estate once I've fulfilled my duties for the day, and I get summoned back to our territory often. I am not like you. I cannot just be at her side unless I have a good reason to be there.
Indeed. Ox territory is in the far west of the Empire. I surmise you have had to spend much of your time away from Enbar. Furthermore, you will be a baron one day. Your duties will prevent you from dedicating yourself solely to Her Majesty.
Exactly. Unlike you, I have an entire territory's worth of people to protect. But I still won't give up. Even from afar. No. Precisely because I'll be afar, there will be things I can do to protect Her Majesty. In fact, always being at her side might actually cause you to overlook threats from time to time. I may even serve Her Majesty in a way you never could.
That is a promising thought, Monica.
La la, la 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 la. Is that Lady Dorothea? Oh, it is!
Hello, Monica. Oh, is something wrong?
Well, I was wondering, are you the same Lady Dorothea who is known as the mystical songstress?
Well, yes, I suppose I am. Did you not know that?
Not at first, though it made perfect sense once I finally realized it. I find it difficult to believe it's really you.
Well, I'm certainly not doing a lot of songstressy things here in the army, so I'm not surprised it took you a bit to put two and two together.
But it should not have taken me this long. You have the same name, and you carry yourself in the same dignified manner as the Lady Dorothea I saw in the capital. I can't believe you're right in front of me. The excitement is so great I can barely stand.
Oh, please, that's all in the past. Now I'm just another one of your allies.
No, you're different. There wasn't a girl in the capital who didn't want to be you. I spent years trying to find a ticket to one of your performances. But when I finally found one, I ended up in a seat where I couldn't see the stage very well. It was so far back, I could barely even make out your face, or the rest of you for that matter. That's likely why I failed to recognize you at first.
Well, I'm certainly pleased you came to see me, and I'm sorry the seat was less than ideal.
Oh, but the costumes and stagecraft were more gorgeous and stirring than I ever could have imagined. Your songs captivated me. They reached out from the center of the stage, all the way back to me in my little corner of the opera house. Just thinking about it puts a smile on my face.
You were a more passionate listener than I would have imagined, Monica. Moni? Still with me?
Oh, my apologies, Lady Dorothea. I was sort of carried off by a wave of memories there.
It's fine, but can we maybe stop with all of the lady stuff? I find it a little unsettling.
Well, all right, Dorothea. You know, I'm somewhat surprised you didn't return to the opera company once the war broke out.
You're not the only one. Adie and I being classmates was a big part of why I stayed, but suffice it to say that a lot happened and now I'm here.
It's a great honor to fight alongside you, Lady Dorothea.
Maybe I should just return the favor and start calling you Lady Monica.
Dorothea, are you all right? I heard you were injured in our latest battle.
I'm fine. I can't say the same for my clothes, but at least my body will heal up quickly.
What a relief. It would be terrible if you were wounded, but even a single scar marring your perfect skin would be a tragedy.
No need to make such a fuss over it. I have plenty of scars already, Moni.
I'm aware, but a large one would present a different type of problem altogether.
Wait, how do you know that I have scars?
Actually, no, I'd rather not find out. By the way, Dorothea, there's something I was hoping to ask you. I heard you were hurt because you hesitated to kill an opponent and left yourself open to an attack. Is that true?
It is. My enemy was a young child, and she was all skin and bones. I thought perhaps she was an orphan, and pity stayed my hand.
So it is true.
I'm sorry. I suppose my failure to act must have been something of a burden on everyone else.
I don't consider you a burden, but still, why do you keep fighting if you have such a kind heart? How can you even stand it? Don't you want to run away? Don't you want to leave the army and return to your opera company?
Oh, of course. The little voice inside my head is always telling me to pack up and go. But I have too much self-respect to do that. Or perhaps I'm simply too tied to my position. If I hadn't been given the opportunity to become a songstress, if I'd remained an orphan, I might well be in the same position as the child I face today. I might have been pressed into battle without being taught how to fight properly. I doubt I would have lasted long out on the battlefield. And when I think about that, I can't run away. I can't be the only one to flee to safety when everyone else is in danger.
I had no idea.
Plus, Adi matters a lot to me. I want to stay by her side and support her. You know all about what that's like, right? Even though you have the option of working in the capital, you've chosen to stay here and fight.
Well, you have me there. No matter what hardships might come, I can't imagine ever abandoning her.
That makes two of us.
Dorothea, my apologies. There's something I need to confess. I went to Her Majesty and asked her to reassign you to the rear guard. But after speaking to you, I now realize that was a great mistake. Even if it's difficult, and even if you get hurt, you still have a desire and a right to be on the front with Lady Edelgard.
You don't have to apologize, Mani. I understand. So, let's keep giving everything we've got to this fight.
Yes, with the two of us at her side, Her Majesty will be flanked by beautiful flowers. Wait, Her Majesty is also a beautiful flower, so,
Upon the stage of battle we shall bloom, an army of countless flowers bursting into full glory.
Monica, why are you just standing there?
I was waiting for you. You were speaking with Her Majesty, yes?
Yep, just going over some strategy. Why? Did you need me for something?
No, not exactly. So, what did Her Majesty say?
Well, she wanted to get my opinion on how best to utilize our mercenaries since they all use different weapons. We're going to be fighting some upcoming battles on terrain that'll make it harder to use lances, so we were trying to figure out how to deal with that.
And you didn't speak of anything else?
Well, yeah, but it probably wouldn't interest you. Mercenary stuff, you know.
That's not quite what I meant. There was cake for everyone, was there not? And I'm pretty certain there were fresh flowers throughout the room. Did you not see them?
Oh yeah, that cake was great. Did you want a piece? Flowers, though. I think maybe there were some little white ones?
Ugh, I have no interest in your opinion. I want to know what Her Majesty thought of them.
Oh, I don't know. She probably said something nice, but I wasn't really paying attention.
You weren't... Never mind. I suppose I will have to ask her myself. I just want to know what Her Majesty genuinely thought. You were summoned by Her Majesty and granted the honor of giving her counsel. Then she graciously offered you cake. And you didn't even have the decency to watch her eat it? Honestly, what is wrong with you?
Sorry if I let you down somehow. I don't think I really get what the big deal is, though. Want me to go ask her right now?
No, please don't. If Her Majesty learns I was prying about such things... I do not want to bother her with these trivialities. Forget I said anything.
I see what's going on here. The cake and flowers were your doing, weren't they? That's why you were asking me about how Edelgard reacted.
Yes, okay? Just please, not another word of this.
All right, I get it. Well, not really, but...
I beg you, forget this ever happened. The situation is far more complicated than you realize.
You wanted to talk, Monica? This is an interesting choice of location.
I hear you've been going above and beyond lately, that you perform miracles each time you set foot on the battlefield.
Why are you complimenting me all of a sudden? I mean, things have been going well, but...
Oh, I assure you, I have no ulterior motive. You've helped me out a great deal too, after all. Even Her Majesty praises your fine work. She talks about you so much, in fact, I'm more than a little sick of hearing your name.
Huh, she talks about me that much? Wait a sec. You aren't jealous, are you? That wouldn't make any sense.
Indeed, it wouldn't. Why in the world would I be jealous of you? After all, you are merely Her Majesty's subordinate. Your relationship will never transcend the bounds of master and servant. It will never reach the depths of meaning that Her Majesty and I share.
So you are jealous?
In what way? I am merely telling you the truth as I see it. It never even crossed my mind how irritatingly close you and Her Majesty are. Not once.
Yeah, you basically just admitted it.
I certainly did not.
You did. You said you were jealous that Edelgard and I are so close.
The word jealous never traversed my lips.
You sure you're not, though?
Perhaps a little.
That's what I thought.
But so what if I am? I have always been Her Majesty's most devoted admirer. Hubert is one thing, but you're just a run-of-the-mill mercenary. To think Her Majesty has uttered your name more times than she has mine, it makes me want to scream my lungs out.
You've been counting? Why even keep score? It's not a contest. All this worrying is just gonna stress you out.
It's no good. I still keep track even if I'm not worried. I cannot help it. I can't believe it has come to this. I have no other choice but to ask for your help.
What's come to what now?
I will just have to show you. Come on, let's go. Interesting. Her Majesty refrained from drinking tea today. A bit unusual, don't you think? I believe the last time that happened was 15 days ago. Ergo, we can conclude she tends to renounce the beverage when...
Hey, remind me why I'm doing this again. What's the point of recording all this stuff? Why not just hang out with her?
It is not stuff. These are Her Majesty's great exploits. They must be accurately recorded and preserved within the annals of Imperial history.
Not sure I'd call her tea habits great exploits. No one's ever gonna need that information. And how do you remember all this? I couldn't even tell you what I had for breakfast this morning.
I remember everything Her Majesty does. Every word she has ever spoken to me, every morsel she has ever eaten, not to mention where and when she ate it. Every sigh that has escaped her lips, each and every one of her favorite...
Yeah, let's stop there. This is all sorts of weird.
Why do you say that? These are simply records that need to be kept.
Just think about it for a minute. Have you ever read a book on Adrestian history that lists the number of times an emperor sighed?
There has never been a historian with a memory like mine, nor one who could keep such accurate records. Until now. The sole reason I have this excellent memory is to ensure that Her Majesty's great exploits are documented properly.
But if your memory's so good, then there's no reason for me to help, is there?
Oh, but there is. Her Majesty places a great deal of confidence in you. She often engages you in conversation, and the two of you spend an insufferable amount of time together. As such, you're able to obtain information I could not otherwise verify on my own. There is nobody more qualified than you to assist me in this undertaking.
All right, fine. I get that you're serious about all this. I don't mind lending a hand when I'm not busy, and there doesn't seem to be much harm in it. For Edelgard, anyway.
Spoken like a true confidant of Her Majesty. How dependable of you. It's no wonder she trusts you more and more each day, even if it is maddening. And so, the time has come for me to grant you a very special privilege. I will permit you to devote yourself to Her Majesty as a sign of your undying love.
I'm honored, I guess. Does that mean you're not jealous of me anymore?
I suppose not. We will be comrades, joined in our quest to bestow love and affection upon Her Majesty.
Well, all right then. I wouldn't get your hopes up, though. I'm not really sure how I'd show my love for her, or if I'd even want to.
Very well. You clearly still fail to appreciate the full extent of Her Majesty's charm. However, I am confident you will come to your senses the more you assist me. I hope that one day you will ascend and become a true admirer of Her Majesty.
Yeah, you do that.